Welcome to FRC Media News for Thursday, November 9th, 2017. I'm Donna Mata. After months of campaigning, reporting, talking, and planning, the Fall River final election November 7th is, well, finally history. FRC Media News dedicates most of this program to election results and coverage. And at this time, I'd like to welcome digital news editor of the Fall River Herald News, Will Richmond, to join me. Hello, Will.
Hi, Donna. How you doing?
Very good. Now that the election is over, and as reporters and journalists, we've definitely done our planning, and the voters came out to vote on Tuesday. We covered it live, obviously. And why don't you, since you're the statistics person, just run down those statistics?
Sure. Well, you know, it was a pretty much of a romp for Mayor Jazel Correa. As you know, people saw on election night, he clearly took over 60% of the vote. It was not close at all. There was about a 31% turnout from voters. So, you know, just over 15,000 ballots were cast. This is up. There were about 8,000 ballots cast, or just over that in the preliminary. So, you know, not nearly quite double came out in November. And, you know, it's always disappointing. It feels like 30% feels like a good turnout, but you can think back to past years, you know, go back a ways and you used to see 60, 70, 80% turnouts. So mayor's race, not much there, pretty clear-cut winner, as well as the two ballot questions. You know, a lot of question as to how well those would do. There was a lot of talk leading up to the election. Even the mayor, Jazel Correa, said he would not vote to approve the Charter Commission. That kind of momentum, you would think if people were going to support the mayor, they might follow along on his thinking on the charter as well. And that was not the case.
That's very true. We actually talked to Charter Commission Board Chair Mike Mayoza during the election, and we have a clip of him later on in the newscast. But right now, as everybody knows at this point, Mayor Jazel Correa II has won a second term, like you said, with almost 60% of the vote. And we were there covering it, so we'd like to give a clip of his acceptance speech.
Tonight, we sent a message across the entire city of Fall River, from the north end to the south end to the center city, that we want more of the Correa administration, and I couldn't be prouder and happier of these results tonight. We're going to Donna Williams. We are so excited, so happy about tonight's results. I don't think we've seen an election with nearly this kind of a sweep in a long time. We have unified our city. We have unified our city. We have unified our city. And I'll tell you what, the city's only going to get better. I asked voters to take a report card, to give me a grade on education, on education, on public safety, on economic development, on all streets and sidewalks and everything. And tonight, I think the taxpayers and the citizens of Fall River gave all of us an A+. How about that? Thank you, thank you. That's right, I love these guys. I can't tell you enough how excited we are about the next 2 years. We're going to continue to move the city of Fall River forward each and every day. We're going to add more police and more firefighters and reduce classroom sizes and keep adding money to our stabilization fund. We have so much to be proud of. We have so much to be proud of. And I am just so proud and happy to be your mayor. And I can't wait to wake up tomorrow morning and continue to work for each and every one of you and work for the next 2 years and the next 2 years after that. And we're going to keep going. And we're going to change the course of Fall River's history forever. Good night. God bless. I love you all. Let's make it happen. Make it here. Thank you.
Now, as most people know, it was a very contentious mayoral race this time around, with several debates. The Fall River Herald News, as well as FRC Media, put on some forums, and it was, as I said, contentious. There was a lot of going back and forth about the major issues. Now, Linda Pereira did a great campaign. I mean, she got out there and she did her thing, but she lost. She also conceded early on, too.
Yeah, I think as you know, a lot of these campaigns will have volunteers posted at each of the polling sites, so you're collecting your numbers very early on before they're even coming into government center, and kind of that official, unofficial tally of votes is being put out. And I think it became very clear to her. You know, there's a couple of polling places you can generally rely on to give you a good sense on where the vote is going to go, and you know, the truth is she lost to all but one precinct, and the only precinct that she won was one of the very tiny precincts that in total, I think there were a total of 8 ballots cast or 9 ballots cast in that precinct. So, you know, as those results started coming in from those people in her campaign, I think she realized very quickly that the numbers were not going to come out in her favor for this one.
Yes, unfortunately, obviously for her, I think she conceded early. I believe she had the numbers way before we did anyway. So she did give her concession speech early, and Michelle Dumas was at the scene at a local restaurant, and we have a clip from her concession speech.
We all wish him well in his endeavor because his actions will shape our common future. I'll end with a quote, the words of a man who never lost an election. John Fitzgerald Kennedy said, "There are 3 things in life that are real: God, human folly, and laughter. Since the first 2 are beyond our comprehension, we must do what we can do with the third. As difficult as it may be, please end the night with laughter, with pride, and with my profound thanks, and with the knowledge that you not only fought long and well, but also that I never, never will forget you from the bottom of my heart. Each and every one of you, I will remember. I will remember. I ran because I love this city, and I lost because I love this city, and I wasn't afraid to put my name on the ballot. And I thank you all for your support. Make sure you eat, and we're gonna drink and celebrate because we try to make a difference. Thank you.
Later on in our newscast, we will have clips of the city council winners as well as the school committee members who were elected into office on Tuesday. But getting back to the ballot questions, we know that the home rule charter passed. And we also know that the $123 million loan order passed for the upgrades to the water treatment facility, as well as helping to fund the combined sewer overflow project. Do you have how many votes were cast for that ballot question?
Off the top of my head, I don't have those. Sitting on my desk is I actually just picked up we just picked up the numbers today from the unofficial tally. There's an expectation that the certified results could be finished up by tomorrow from the you know, the staff in the elections office, or the official tally will be completed by Monday. So we'll have an exact number on those by early next week at the latest.
But it did pass, and that does mean that the upgrades will be made and the city will just move forward the best it can, cleaning up the CSO problem. All right, Will, what's coming up that you're reporting this weekend in the paper?
Sure, this weekend we'll have full coverage of all the Veterans Day events throughout the area. So, you know, with it being a weekend holiday, there'll be some coming tomorrow on Friday, as well as the city's annual parade and some other stuff from the area. So, you know, full coverage of all those events coming in papers across the weekend.
Very good. Well, enjoy your holiday and have a great weekend. And Keith, we'll see you next week.
All right, have a good weekend.
All right, you too. Thank you, Will. We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Fall River Career Center. Leasing consultant. The Dolbin Company, a real estate property organization in Fall River, is looking for a full-time leasing consultant responsible for all activities relating to apartment rentals, including conducting site tours, qualifying residents, preparing lease paperwork, and completing move-in procedures. Job number 978-7492. Program Nurse, Fellowship Health Resources Incorporated, located at 1700 President Avenue, is in need of a part-time program nurse responsible for nursing care for young adults with chronic mental illness. Job number 979-2594. Bookkeeping Clerk. The Fall River Public School Department, located at 417 Rock Street, is looking for a full-time bookkeeping clerk to collect, process, and maintain confidential data from staff and students and work collaboratively with others in an educational office environment. Job number 979-3087. Bristol Community College, located at 777 Ellsbury Street, is looking to fulfill the following part-time positions. Assistant Women's Basketball Coach, job number 979-1232. Consulting Psychologist, job number 979-1477. Primacare, located at 277 Pleasant Street, is looking to fulfill the following full-time positions. Mammography Technologist, job number 976-9610. Medical Assistant in Podiatry, job number 979-3797. For more information on these or other positions, visit FRCmedianews.org or call the Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. The final election in Fall River this week resulted in some of the same and some new faces on the City Council. During live election coverage on FRC Media and FRG TV News, hosts Keith Tebow and Pamela Martin spoke with some of the candidates elected to office. Councillor Stephen Long, who placed in the top 9, was asked how difficult it was to campaign since there was no preliminary election for City Council back in September.
Preliminary is always better because you can always see basically where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, and you can kind of strategize around that. So we didn't have that this year, but you know, I'm confident that I will be successful. I had a very good response from the voters. I was out there. I was running just like I ran the first time. Had the jitters in my stomach last night. Didn't sleep that much, but and as long as I have that, I'll keep doing it. When I lose that, then I'm going to quit. So.
So congratulations to you.
Well, thank you very much, and I want to congratulate those who went out and voted, and again to all those people who go out there and volunteer and put their passions out there. That's a great thing. Stay involved, vote. We need to bring the turn up even more because the more people that vote, the better pulse we have on what the city really wants. So I thank you for. I want to thank the people who supported me. Thank all the voters that are out there. And everybody said, "Well, you're glad it's over." I'm like, "Well, it's just beginning again. It's just beginning again."
It's over.
Yeah, you know, this is a tough part. It's always an anxiety part, but
Yeah.
now the work begins for the next council.
I really appreciate all the support I received. Everybody who took some time to go out in this. It was very cold today, and I want to thank everybody who took some time to go out today and held signs, whether it was for me. Or any of the new councilors. I want to thank them for that as well. I will say this, though. This has been a challenging ride. It's been a challenge that I've embraced the last 2 years, and it's been something that I look forward to doing for another 2 years.
City Councilor Stephen Camara, take a seat there.
Hi.
Steve, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Back again.
Why keep coming back?
Well, it's passionate.
Yeah.
You know, it's passion, and I heard you say that earlier about public service, and I do love this city. I do love serving. Frankly, I'm going to the 24-year mark with this term, new term to come. So, and that's over 4 decades. So.
Right.
So in fact, longevity, I guess I'm the longest back elected official in terms of first being elected in 1977 to the school committee. So I have now institutional memory. I can provide the council with some perspective on how things were and how things are, and hopefully where we can go. So I commend all the candidates. First of all, everyone who participates is victorious because democracy is not a spectator sport. It's a participatory sport.
I know you've said before your wife is like, enough, I'm done, no more. but you keep coming and doing it again.
Yeah, I said we'll try one more time.
I've heard that before.
I see all the signs in the cellar, the 2 openings. I said, we'll try it again. And here we are, and we hope we can make a difference again for the next 2 years. And I think that's it.
I think his mission remains the same, though. Leo, thank you. Congratulations to you
Thank you.
and all
Thank
the
you.
candidates.
Okay.
I wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Leo Pelletier is back. As for the school committee, 7 members were voted into office. The top vote getter, Paul Coogan.
Paul, 2 years ago, you sat with us as a newly elected school committee member. Now you're going to be joined by 2 new school committee members. Kevin Aguirre back on the committee. He has experience, so his learning curve should be pretty low. What do you tell the 2 new members of the committee on what they can expect to get ready to go in January?
Mr. Corey is an experienced educator. He knows his way around a school, and Mr. Hetzler has critical business skill, which may help us with the building of the Durfee as someone with a construction background and as a firefighter. So they're both going to bring things to the table, but the same as I did, you kind of observe for a while, pick the issues you want to make sure you can focus on, and start working on those one at a time and go along slowly. And again, ask some of the veterans for advice. I still ask Mark and Joe things, and
No
to
shame
them.
in that.
No.
My goodness.
No.
Remember in school, the only bad question that you don't ask is the one you don't ask, right?
If you're not asking questions,
You're
I
not
don't know if you
learning.
belong there either.
You're not
That's right.
learning.
You make sure you ask for help, because if you try to do it your own way, it's going to snap you.
Thank you, Paul, and congratulations.
I can't thank you guys enough. You're always gracious to me, and I really want to thank the voters in Fall River for coming out tonight. I really, really appreciate it, and I will not let you down. Thank you.
I put in a lot of work. We did everything everybody told me to do. You know, I went and I spoke to a lot of people who had served on the school committee in the past and a lot of other elected officials, and they told me everything that you should do, and then I assembled a wonderful team. My family, my friends, they really came through for me. They really helped me out, so I've been blessed.
I'm humbled by the support I received from my family, my wife Charlene, my son-in-law Jared, my daughter Lisa, and he was my campaign manager, and they guided me in such effective ways. And of course, the Fall River community that came up big for me tonight. This is a city I love. It's a city I've been serving for a long time. It's a pleasure to be in this position tonight. I can't thank FRCmedia and FRG TV enough for providing the service for us through the forums to get our word out. And thanks again, everybody. Thanks to the Fall River community for putting me in this position. I will work so hard to uphold your trust.
That was committee member who was elected, Tom Corey. Voters, as we discussed, also approved a $123 million loan order to pay for much-needed upgrades to the city's wastewater treatment facility and for the multi-million-dollar federally mandated combined sewer overflow project. That came as no surprise to Terrence Sullivan, who previously explained to FRCmedia News that voters have consistently agreed to similar requests over the last 30 or so years because they understand the reason for the funding. Along another vein, a new home rule charter was put into effect on Tuesday, November 7th, that day in particular, after voters said yes to the proposed changes.
So were you pleasantly surprised, or were you confident 100% in this?
No, I am pleasantly surprised. I wouldn't say I was confident 100%. The last 3 months have been very, very challenging, particularly when you had the mayor who spoke out against the charter. A lot of our elected officials spoke out against the charter. So over the last 3 months, it's been very challenging. However, I think my message and the message of the Charter Commission and a lot of people that supported this is that this is just good government, better government. We didn't go crazy. We didn't flip the government. This is a starting process for us. This is a good thing. I believe at some point in the city's future we would have had a home rule charter. I am so happy that it's now that the residents of Fall River saw the value and the work that was done, not just by myself, by the commission that was elected, by the folks that went and collected the 12,000 signatures that we needed to get this on the ballot. So this is a great day for Fall River, a really good day for Fall River.
We'll have more FRCmedia News right after this.
shelter, we not only have dogs and cats up for adoption, we also have a variety of other small animals. We have 2 turtles, we have currently 4 bunnies, and we also have some rats. We have an adult rat who is the mom of all 9 of our babies. They're pretty well behaved. They've been handled since they've been born. This is Picasso. He knows he's handsome. He's kind of their protector. But once they're in your hand, they will stop running. They're pretty fine being handled. And so this one's the other male. This is Monet, another painter, but he's more rambunctious, curious, high energy. This is Van Gogh, another handsome boy. They are pretty clean. They don't require much maintenance. But yeah, so they are here ready for adoption, or you can even just come and visit them. So this is Titan. We believe he is a lab mix. He's a very good dog. He's very good on leash, even though he's a lot of night. He knows how to sit. He loves squeaky toys. So if you want to see Titan or any of the other dogs at the shelter we have, we're open every day 11 to 4, besides for Wednesdays. We're located at 300 Linwood Avenue. Feel free to come visit.
Welcome back. The Durfee Lafayette House on Cherry Street in Fall River will be the site of an exhibit this week honoring the drawings of World War I veteran Frederick L. Mayo, now deceased. His son, a Fall River resident, John Mayo Jr., made duplicates of his father's artwork while his father was serving in the military almost 100 years ago.
He started drawing when he was about 5 years old. And he kept drawing. By the time he went into the service in 1917, I think he was an accomplished artist. He was very good. And he put down in his diaries, he kept 2 diaries, one in 1917 and one in 1918. He kept down the history and all what he saw. And he captured a lot of history in World War I with his drawings. He was very good at it and very patient.
What are the materials he used?
Well, he got the paper from the PX. It was poor quality paper. Put the book together himself, the first book, and he used a pen in the books. But every page in the book, a day-to-day entry with pictures that he drew.
Do you think the drawings were a way to cope?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But I think it helped him. It may have relaxed him, in the times he was doing it. The pressure may have been taken away. It's true, but he could draw. So he had the talent,
And he remembered the scenes.
He did. And the scenes, they're complete.
Do you have a favorite drawing?
I don't know. I love them all. I think the one that shows the German pilot falling out of his plane, because I know the story, how he harassed the American troops, and he killed a lot of Americans, and they finally shot him down. So I know that whole story, so I think I really love that drawing. But I love them all.
That's it for this edition of FRC Media News. You can catch FRC Media News Thursday and Friday at 6 p.m., but our online news site is available 24/7 at frcmedianews.org. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Donna Mata. Have a great week. We'll see you next Thursday.